Hey everybody, this is Sky from South Brooklyn, and you're listening to The Connected Podcast, the show that's for people who are open minded and enjoy enlightenment thoroughly, plus insight and all of that nature. Today we're talking about emerging adult skills and a little bit about racism, including a book club with
Phantom Willie
in the house, who is going to also add a dash of enlightenment, insight, and knowledge, etc. On your
book of War Against All Puerto Ricans, which was made by Nelson A. Dennis. It's a revolution and terror going on in America constantly.
Okay. Off the bat, it might not sound intriguing or graspable, but just wait until it goes in depth. Now, first of all, what is emerging adult skills? Emerging adulthood is a term used to describe a period of development spanning from about the ages 18 to 29, experienced by most people in their 20s in westernized cultures and perhaps in other parts of the world as well. During the transition from adolescence to adulthood, increasing maturity comes with expectations that one will take responsibility for oneself, make independent decisions, and become self-sufficient. Emerging adults share the 5 characteristics of self-focus, instability, identity explorations, feeling in between, and a sense of possibilities. Possibilities are endless. Anything and everything is possible. Okay. Emerging adulthood is initially defined by Jeffrey Jensen Arnott, PhD from Clark University in 2000. Arnott has studied the age group of millennials extensively since then, focusing on understanding the timing and consequences of traditional events, such as leaving home or finishing education, for example.
Most of us felt that.
Seriously.
Excuse me for my French.
Ooh. Furthermore, according to Arnott, having left the dependency of childhood and adolescence, and having not yet entered the enduring responsibilities that are normative in adulthood. Sorry for that pause. Emerging adults often explore a variety of possible life directions in love, work, and worldviews. Sorry, I'm also reading off of a paper. It might be a little long-winded.
Stagnant type shit.
Yes.
Excuse us for our French.
But that also goes into equity. What do you have to say about that?
Well, there's 2 types of equity. There's business equity, and then there's equity where everybody is equal, but also fair. Because you could be equal to someone, yet they don't have the needs that they need to be equal to you.
Yes, very understandable. Very understandable. But before we get into your side, because I'm very curious, do you have any questions about emerging adult skills?
How do you see yourself in a situation where someone else is being racist to another person of color?
I feel like you should think outside the box. For example, we're all complex in our own ways, and that's where individuality also comes in, which plays a big part in who we are, and it has nothing to do with skin tone. It's about the human race, not race.
Alright, so since you were speaking about complex, how do you think a superhero, depending on their complexities, how do you think they can handle a situation being diverse in a culture that they don't have no understanding of?
See, that goes very in depth, but because superhero or not, we are all complex, as I said before, in our own ways. And I feel like complicity is what also makes us equal, because if we were all the same, it would probably just turn to, give me a word.
Peace and unity?
That also because it's being prevented.
Most definitely.
You know?
So, speaking upon the book, though, a lot of things could have been prevented with just knowledge. So,
yes,
the knowledge that I'm about to give is gonna let people see let people see what's really going on behind the closed doors within the government. So, Nelson A. Dennis, his book War Against All Puerto Ricans. I'm gonna just read a section off so you guys can get the gist of what was going on and what occurred during the time frame of 1940s. So, on On the quiet Sunday morning of February 23rd, 1963, Riggs got his war as a Yale educated gentleman, member of the Scroll and Key, and heir to the Riggs National Bake fortune. Perhaps he felt invulnerable, but after engineering the Rio Piedras massacre, he was ripe for retaliation. As he returned home to the El Escambron luxury resort, two young women approached him. Hiram Rosado shot and missed. Elias Bishkap killed him instantly. The police arrested Rosado and Bishkap, took them to the San Juan District Station, and summarily executed them within an hour. General Winship took immediate personal command of Insular Police. So with that being said, you can already see how racism played a part in that. Just because they didn't like their nationality,
it created just wars, groups, labels.
They felt threatened by just how they carried themselves. So because of that, they seen that was time to change. Yet this change also was still detrimental to the history of all Latins. So especially Puerto Ricans. General Winship took immediate personal command of all Insular Police. Later that evening, two more nationalists, Angel Mario Martinez and Pedro Crespo, were shot and killed by the police in the town of Hurtado, which is even more sad because other nationalists disappeared and never heard from again. These became known as Los Desaparecidos. The next day, thousands of mourners from all over the island flocked to San Juan in a massive outpouring of grief and support. Winship tried to stop the marchers, but there were simply too many of them. I can't say this word because it's really hurtful.
Yeah, it's very long-winded. It's okay. It's a book.
Yeah, it's hurtful though because the way that they try to make us seem
separated, basically.
Yeah. So it says, El Imparcial ran a story, and the headline reads, "Go ahead and shoot, and then you see how a man dies." Which is sad that people want to see so much death going on when words could resolve all the violence.
Wow. And that really goes into our next topic. There's so much that I would love to say about that, speaking about it, but that would definitely be all for today. Until next time on the Connected Podcast. Thank you for all tuning in. So you could really tune in. Next, we will be talking about an extension of today's information, which is existentialism and peace and unity.
Easter egg.
Very much a little hint. So until next time.
Later.